A new money laundering scheme to interfere in U.S. elections has been discovered, and it's massive. MAGA is getting even more MAGA, according to new data out today. Biden accuses Trump of hurting Social Security, sends out a massive warning to seniors right as Trump signs an executive order to remove the 4 million illegals President Biden put into the Social Security trust system. Plus, RFK Jr. gives an emotional update on chronic illness and autism. I've got a great show for you tonight. Thank you guys so much for liking and sharing these videos. It really helps me out, so thank you so much. I didn't know that MAGA could actually become more MAGA, but it's happening. That's right. More and more Americans are seeing the wisdom of making America great again, bringing back jobs, increasing wages, lowering inflation, having common sense. At the same time, you have Democrats ignoring victims of violence, bodily harm, and violation of women and children. They are literally flying to El Salvador to try to free an immigrant who just today we learned regularly beat his wife. Now, I'm not for that. I'm completely against it. But this is what Democrats are doing. But let me go ahead and show you what.
To NBC News, there's a growing number of voters who are identifying with the MAGA movement. From January 2024, it was 20%. March 2025, it is 36%. So we're actually seeing the country kind of moving in these opposite directions. Lots of fire and energy on the left, but on the right, more and more Americans are comfortable saying, I'm MAGA.
Oh, yeah. I think a lot of people, a lot of Republicans used to think of themselves as just, average Republicans, and they've really come to respect and appreciate what Donald Trump is doing. I think the immigration issue alone is causing a lot of people to feel closer to Donald Trump than maybe they ever felt before. So I'm not surprised by that finding. I referenced it earlier, but there's also other polling. Very young people, 18 to 21, are feeling more conservative, even as 21 to 24 are feeling less. There was a bit of a split in that generation, but you can see people flowing in different ways here. And it's quite interesting. I actually think the common thread among it all is if you perceive authenticity out of a politician, you tend to gravitate towards them. That's why Trump is popular. I think it's why AOC is popular too. She doesn't appear to be a scripted puppet. Neither does Trump. And you can see the crowds they draw.
All right. You can tell the host of that show just hates anything that is positive Donald Trump. But so MAGA is becoming more MAGA. More people want to make America great again. But you have Democrats going against what their own voters and base want. They are fighting tooth and nail for illegals, for wife beaters, for criminals. Listen to what Senator Cory Booker had to say. This absolutely blew me away.
Do you think the Trump administration is defying a court order?
It certainly appears that they are, and they're trying to play too cute with parsing words. The court has ordered the return of this person and that the Trump administration should do it. They're paying an authoritarian leader in El Salvador to hold people in the worst imaginable types of prisons that he has sent there without any due process. And this isn't just about Mr. Garcia. This is about every American understanding that this president is making an assault on the due process rights that are afforded to people in our country. Everybody from Anton Scalia to other conservative think tanks have said very clearly, you cannot disappear people off American streets. We are a nation of rules, and due process is clearly one of them. And to erode the due process rights of anyone is a threat to the due process rights of everyone. This is a democratic slippage, and we all should be speaking out against it.
So you have Cory Booker coming out saying that you need to defend Mr. Garcia, who allegedly is tied to MS-13 gangs. They were able to prove that today. Also, his former wife came forward saying she actually had to get a court order against him because he used to physically beat her on a regular basis. But you've got multiple Democrats on flights, maybe even right now, flying down there. They don't care about their voters right here in America. They want to go to El Salvador to defend a wife beater, a gang member, and an illegal immigrant. But again, I don't really care because I don't vote for Democrats. I have common sense, and that makes no sense. Now, President Trump is finally rolling back one of Biden's most controversial policies by signing an executive order to end Social Security benefits for undocumented immigrants. So no more money going to illegals. The trust fund set up for Social Security is sacred. It's sacrosanct. It's for American workers only. It's for the American people. Now, the order outlined a presidential memorandum. It seeks to prevent ineligible individuals from accessing benefits and expand fraud investigation within the Social Security Administration. It also targets states that fail to verify eligibility, with Trump stating taxpayer-funded benefits should be provided only to eligible persons. Now, according to FAIR, the policy follows reports that 2 million illegal immigrants received Social Security numbers in 2024 alone, costing the Biden administration or the American people $182 billion annually. Annually, they were stealing your money and giving it to illegals that had been here for 5 minutes to the tune of $182 billion. Elon Musk and his team of geniuses now know that number was over 4 million illegals, with over 2 million just in Biden's final months. Now, since leaving office, Joe Biden has kept a low profile. Of course he would. He has dementia. He doesn't know what he's doing, and he got his butt kicked in the election. But during a public speech, the former president shared childhood memories from Scranton, Pennsylvania, recalling he had never seen a black person until he saw a colored person on a bus. He had never seen that. He didn't know what to make of it. Now, in this same speech, those are his words, not mine. In this same speech, former President Biden tried to convince the Democrat Party that President Trump is destroying Social Security. So, who's destroying Social Security? The guy that allowed illegal immigrants, 4 million illegal immigrants, to steal benefits from hardworking retired Americans? Or the president that just signed an executive order to remove these people? Again, it's common sense, right? So once again, Joe Biden is a piece of human garbage, and Donald Trump is cleaning up the DC dog kennel and all of the crap in order to save Social Security. If you're on Social Security, you owe President Trump a giant thumbs up, because he literally, I mean, between illegal immigrants and the people over the age of 115 that were magically receiving Social Security checks, we're talking about like $300 billion a year that was being drained from Social Security. So these stupid politicians that are like, well, it's going to go bankrupt. We don't know what to do. How about get rid of the fraud? How about get rid of the people that are just stealing money from hardworking Americans? All right. Earlier today, HHS Secretary RFK Jr. gave an incredible press conference about ending chronic illness. It's worth a listen. It's 12 minutes, so I'm not going to abuse you here. But he also talked about how they now know that it went from the number 13 down to 6. They've narrowed it down. There's 6 environmental toxins that could be causing autism. Now, he said in almost all cases, these children are fully functioning children that suddenly regress, go backwards, and are never the same again. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but let me just play one clip for you today that I found very interesting. Let me go ahead and roll that. I'll bring it to the stage and let's watch it together.
Families. More importantly, it destroys our greatest resource, which are our children. These are children who should not be suffering like this. These are kids who, many of them were fully functional and regressed because of some environmental exposure into autism when they're 2 years old. And these are kids who will never pay taxes. They'll never hold a job. They'll never play baseball. They'll never write a poem. They'll never go out on a date. Many of them will never use a toilet unassisted. And we have to recognize we are doing this to our children, and we need to put an end to it. This is an individual tragedy as well.
So the full speech is definitely worth your time. It's so sad. We have a nephew with autism, high functioning autism, but I have seen many autistic children in my life, and every one of those parents say he or she was just fine, and then boom, they suddenly regress. Now, I'm not going to say what I think it is. I'm going to wait for these 6 environmental toxins to be researched by the best 100 scientists in America. But I believe that we are going to find out the truth, and I look forward to sharing that with you. All right, I have some other big stories, but first, something I want you guys to know about. Are you tired of living paycheck to paycheck, or maybe paycheck to pray check? You're praying for more money, wishing you had an extra income stream. Perhaps you've always wanted to own a home-based business, but didn't know where to start or have a blueprint for how to actually make money. I recently partnered with a group that shows people exactly how to make money from home. Think about the people in your life that have a lot of money. It either took a long time to get there, they inherited it, or they own a business. Most wealth in America comes from business ownership. I want to invite you to a free training tomorrow to learn about building a home-based business following a proven strategy. Their blueprint will show you exactly what to do and how to make money. In a few hours a day, you could build a nice income to help take pressure off your monthly finances, or like many in the group, it could become your full-time gig, making more money than you're making right now. This is happening tomorrow, and I want you guys to know about it and be on the call. Now, I love to bring my community the news, but also introducing you to opportunities that could help you make more money. Follow the link below to register for the free training. This home-based business isn't complicated. It's connected to a multi-billion-dollar industry with over 20 million regular buyers. I'll be on with them tomorrow. I look forward to sharing this information with you. Go sign up right now. All right, General Michael Flynn has announced there is enough evidence now against Obama and others to arrest them, question them, and possibly charge them for treason. This is a huge accusation, and one that I would personally like to know more about. Let me bring this to the stage and we will watch it together. This is really, really interesting in my opinion, and I want to hear from you guys down in the comments.
There's some new declassified material about that Russia collusion hoax from long ago that Kash Patel just gave to Congress. One of the documents contains handwritten notes by former CIA Director John Brennan in July 2016. So carefully note the date, July 2016. And it details a briefing to Obama and senior officials. And it suggested that Hillary Clinton's campaign approved a plan to tie Trump to Russian interference in the election, allegedly to distract from her email scandal. And the notes outlined the concerns about Russian knowledge of this strategy. So in 2016, Brennan, Obama, and their closest top advisors knew that Hillary Clinton was running an op. And the thing they were worried about is that Russia would find out about the op. Brain exploding. Really? The thing they were worried about is that Russia would find out about the op? They weren't worried about the op? They weren't worried about an insurrection or to change the election? I don't even know what to say about that. It's exactly what you thought it was. From the very beginning, I said to myself, that John Brennan guy, there's something wrong there. That the case that they were trying to put together about General Flynn, they knew early on that there was no evidence that he'd done anything whatsoever. None. And yet they talked about continuing it based on no evidence. Not a little bit of evidence, but based on none. They continued to say maybe they should keep looking, which suggests that they were just trying to jail him as opposed to worried about actually any crime. Unfrickin' believable. So that was exactly what you thought.
Wow, wow, wow. So new unredacted material further corroborates what we've all believed. Now, we knew that Obama spied on Trump. That was proven. We knew that the head of the CIA was involved in taking down Donald Trump. We knew Hillary Clinton was involved. Why these people aren't in jail is beyond me. That needs to happen, right? But this new unredacted information that Kash Patel, the head of the FBI, has released, when Hillary Clinton brought this to the sitting president, Barack Obama, in July before the election, and to the head of the CIA, their concern wasn't that Hillary Clinton was setting up Donald Trump and risking the country. It was that Russia would find out and discredit the story. Do you understand? This is treason. This is why General Michael Flynn is now calling on Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, and President Donald J. Trump to call these people in, to question them. They will squeal, they will do a plea deal, and they will go to jail. This is treason. And they knew it. The unredacted documents now prove it. And as this gentleman, I've forgotten his name, but he does a very famous comic strip. He points out their biggest concern wasn't that it would wreck America or wreck the life, business, marriage, and family of Donald Trump. It's that Russia would find out about it and would debunk it. My gosh, you guys, we freaking live in the twilight zone. This is crazy. All right, a couple more big stories. As the trade war between the United States and China rages on, Trump has firmly declared that China must act first if they want to resume business as usual. He will maintain the 125% tariff hike and will only step down when a fair deal is presented by China. White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt had this to say: the ball is in China's court. China needs to make a deal with us. We don't have to make a deal with them. There's no difference between China and any other country, except they are much larger. And China wants what we have, what every country wants, the American consumer. After reading this, Leavitt added, or to put it another way, they need our money. So the president, again, has made it quite clear he's open to dealing with China. China needs to make a deal with the United States. The ball is in their court. While the estimate is that America is more reliant on China, China needs the money from the American consumer. So we'll see what ends up happening. But right now, this tariff war is ongoing, and I'll continue to keep you updated. All right, this is a huge, huge story that I want to bring to your attention. This is coming from Charlie Kirk and others. You can look this up, but a new study presented on Fox News uncovered $100 million in dark money laundering from foreign countries that was being injected into the U.S. political system through 25 different states. I wonder if those were Democrat states or were those Republican states. This is just the tip of the iceberg. It's time to ban foreign election interference. So Charlie Kirk and the people over at Fox News, they broke this story. It is a big story. I wanted to bring it to your attention. Let's go ahead and listen to this together.
Kinds of state initiatives were they trying to influence? What's the topic?
So it's one thing to know that this is not a hypothetical situation. We have been able to trace that, over 100 million of foreign money has flown through the 1630 fund in these states across the country, and they are working to implement some far left and extremist public policies on issues related to abortion, election law, and other things across the country, drug policy. They are trying to sidestep the legislative process and get the most extreme version of public policy possible.
But why would they want that, Caitlin?
Well, because they know that their far left agenda often cannot withstand the scrutiny of a typical legislative process. So they are sidestepping the legislative process, and they are getting these extreme public policy measures on the ballot, and they're using foreign dark money to do it.
So
it's a terrible problem.
Let me read this. This is a statement from the 1630 Fund to Fox. It says 1630 Fund is proud to support ballot initiative campaigns that are working to advance economic opportunity, reproductive rights, and democracy. Our donations to these initiatives are made in compliance with local, state, and federal laws. I'm assuming if these bans go into effect in other states, that would end. I'm just still trying to get to the nut of the problem here, which is, so they support a far left agenda, but what kind of things are they looking for? They want to support like reproductive rights. I'm assuming that is for more abortion access. But when it comes to, they say they want to support democracy. What would that be?
Well, when the left says the word democracy, that's their catch-all for, we're trying to do good things. But when you take a look under the hood, you realize that it's an extremist agenda. We saw that foreign-backed funds came into Ohio last year that would have forced the state to gerrymander their congressional districts and change the way that the state conducted elections. There is nothing democratic about using foreign dark money in these state ballot issue campaigns. And states have, woken up, to this problem and realized that their state constitutions and policies are vulnerable to the corruption that is foreign money. And that's why we have seen such momentum across the country passing these bans prohibiting foreign funds from being used in these ballot issue campaigns.
All right, Kate.
Okay, so through this group, set up in 25 states, $100 million came in. Why? To enact and pass far left Democrat ideology. And they say that they're not breaking the law because they are protecting democracy. When I hear that democracy is being threatened or democracy needs to be protected, my brain literally just replaces that with Democrat power is being threatened. Democrat power needs to be protected. This isn't about democracy. They don't give a crap about your liberties and your democratic voting or your democratic life. All they care about is power, and now they're using foreign money in order to extend their power and their influence and their reach. I'm telling you, if you follow the paper trail, you are going to find that this money is foreign. They need to arrest people. Those people will squeal and they will give up the big dogs at the top of the ladder. That's what needs to happen. So this is a breaking story that's just come out in the last 24 hours. Okay, final story. Vice President J.D. Vance is heading to Rome, where there will be another meeting with the leaders of Iran about finding a way to work together, finding a way to remove some sanctions, and to ensure that Iran is not building nuclear weapons. Israel says they are, and they want more money and more weapons, and they want America to interfere. But I don't think President Trump believes that. I believe he's being cautious, but I don't think he believes that. And J.D. Vance is there on the ground to personally investigate it and be a part of the negotiations and the discussions. So I'll keep you updated on that. All right, what do you guys think about this? Biden says Trump's ruining Social Security. He literally is saving Social Security. What do you guys think about these stories? Let me know in the comments. I appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you on the next video.